of how to understand that we are making tangible progress. What is the other method of understanding how to make tangible progress? How do we understand if we are making tangible progress in Krishna consciousness or not?
Punctual.
Huh?
Punctual. To punctual the
It's the realizations.
Okay.
Attachment is increasing for devotion.
Okay. Can you be more specific?
Intensity of our service is increasing.
Sometimes we have seen in our institution that intensity of service increases so much that a person simply due to the intensity of service falls down. This also we have seen in our institution. Right? It's not new. So just increasing the intensity of service is just not a good indicator for understanding that we are making tangible progress or not.
Chanting hearing process is getting the taste more.
Yeah, this is the point. So, what is it said in the Bhagavatam in the beginning? Dharma swanishtita pumsam visvakshena kathasaya na utpadayet yadiratim shrama hi kevalam. That one should actually see that all the services we are doing, whether it is increasing our taste for hearing and chanting. If that is not happening, then external growth is happening, but internal growth is not happening.
What was the verse that you quoted?
Dharma swanishtita visvakshena kathasaya na utpadayet yadiratim shrama hi kevalam. It is there in the first canto, second chapter.
But I would say that means that I may release the name of Krishna, but I may not preach anymore.
This is natural. It's natural that if a person has something valuable, it's natural that he will speak about it. Is it not? Like if I give you a Mercedes car, or I don't know, you're from France.
Fiat.
I don't know what is the car.
Renault. There is one in front of the
Okay.
Medical Institute.
Okay. So if I give a very expensive French car, you will keep it very secret?
Right.
Well, compared to Mercedes Benz, yes, maybe.
Yeah, but let's say the best car. Let's say Rolls Royce. Okay.
Yeah.
I give a Rolls Royce. Will you keep it very secret?
As a devotee, I will not advise it, but as
I'm talking general.
the general people will do.
Yeah, generally when you have something which you like, okay, you want to talk about it, right? Like a man gets a girlfriend new. He likes to talk about his girlfriend so much. And the worst people to talk to, who are the worst people to talk to? New parents.
New parents?
New parents.
What about baby?
They will keep talking about their baby.
Yeah.
So much baby katha you can hear. Oh, my baby is doing like this. Oh, my baby passed stool. Oh, my baby passed urine. Oh, my baby did this. Oh, my baby did that. Because they are so much attached to their baby that they keep talking about their baby. When a man is attached to something, or a woman is attached to something, man, woman, it's okay. But when a person is too much attached to something, it's natural that he will talk about it. Right? So for a pure devotee, preaching is natural. It's natural. He'll preach. Naturally he'll do it.
There should be many Prabhupada, that means.
There are two types of people who are interested in preaching. A Kanishtadhikari is interested in preaching than practice. Okay? A Madhyamadhikari is interested in practice than preaching. A Uttamadhikari knows the balance between preaching and practice. He is perfect in both. He is perfect in preaching, he is perfect in practice. At least we should be Madhyamadhikari. We should not be Kanishtadhikari. Prabhupada says that we should raise ourselves at least to Madhyama platform. Because a Kanishariya's preaching is not very effective. It can't cause change in heart because he has no empowerment. A Madhyamadika's preaching is more effective because it can cause change in heart. Uttamadikari, simply by seeing him, people get inspired. Darshane pavitra kuri, Narottam Thakur says. Simply by seeing him, people get inspired. So, we should be careful also that that whether our interest in preaching is matching our sincerity of sadhana. If our interest in preaching is not matching our sincerity of sadhana, then that means we are
Change.
kanishta. That if your interest in preaching is more, and if your sincerity of sadhana is less, that means we are kanishta.
If it's other way,
Then madhyama is okay.
no, but like sometimes you feel frustrated, oh, why to preach, do your own sadhana. And do
That is
sadhana.
renunciation in mode of what?
Ignorance.
That is renunciation in mode of what?
Ignorance.
No,
Passion.
passion. If you give up something because of the trouble which is involved, if one gives up swadharma because of the trouble which is involved in that, then that is the renunciation mode of passion. And mode of passion will lead to mode of passion will lead to what? Mode of passion will lead to sin. Mode of passion will lead to sin. When this renunciation is mode of passion, it will always lead to sin. When we say that a Madhyamadikari is more interested in practice and less interested in preaching, it is because of his interest in preaching he is more interested in practice. He understands that if I invest in my practice, my preaching will be much more effective. You understand this?
But while preaching, he will talk always about Krishna, so he purify automatically.
Yeah, but the problem is not his talking. The problem is others talking. The problem is not. See, what is the problem for a devotee? The problem for a devotee is not what he is talking. The problem for a devotee is what others are talking. The moment you give a good class, then what people come and tell you?
We praise you.
Next class.
Roji, excellent class, Roji. Nobody can speak Bhagavatam like you, Roji. You are a great Bhagavatam speaker, Roji. After Vyasadeva, you only can speak Bhagavatam like this. Everybody can say. Right? Then somewhere you start thinking, after Bhagavatam I only can speak, after Vyasadeva I can only. Then you are finished, that's it. The moment one becomes pleased by the glorification which he is getting, that means he is
Kanishta Adhikari.
finished.
Finished. Not even Anu Adhikari.
He is finished.
But we like it, Prabhuji, so we finished.
Finished.
So what to
Come
do?
to zero.
It is called as hot potato. You know the concept of hot potato?
Yeah.
Glorification which we receive is
Hot potato.
hot potato. If you hold it in your hand,
Burn.
it will burn.
Hold it in your mouth, burn.
You take it in your mouth, you can start, you cannot chant, you cannot eat, nothing you can do. Better, what you do?
Put it down.
You can't put it down also, they gave it to you.
Give it to some
You
Guru
give it
Maharaj.
back.
Give it to Guru.
Yeah, he
But
can
why?
hold anything.
No,
Home
he also cannot hold.
He'll pass it on to Krishna.
He will give it to his Guru.
Ah.
And finally it will go to
Krishna.
Radharani. And Radharani will cook the potato and give it to Krishna. Krishna will eat it. Finished.
Yes.
Glorification is
Hot potato.
Dangerous.
hot potato. If you hold it, it will burn you. You see, this is the problem. The problem is not that what you speak. The problem is what others speak to you. Therefore, devotees who criticize you are your best friends.
Where?
Friends.
Best friend, yes, I have this. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati.
Devotees who criticize you are your best friends because they keep you humble. You should always be thankful to people who criticize you. That means Krishna is showing some favor on you. That Krishna likes you. If many people criticize you, that means Krishna likes you. Of course, we should also see why they are criticizing us. And we should try to make some improvement. Not that, okay, Krishna is liking me, he is sending me people who will criticize me, I am a great man. We should not think like that. They are criticizing means that they are finding some fault in us. So we should try to correct that fault.
Did you say the Kanishta Adhikaris prefer to preach more than practice?
Yeah.
They like to preach more.
Yeah, because they like to hear about their glorification. This is the nature of Kanishta Adhikari. He thinks that after Krishna, there is his Guru. After Guru, me. I don't know why my Guru is initiating all the disciples. All my god brothers, useless guys. My Guru should have just initiated me and be done with it. Anyway, he's so compassionate, he has done all this guy. So, this is Kanishta Adhikari. We should be very careful that we should not be like that.
Wow.
Usually we understand Kanishta Adhikari as mainly restricted to the temple and not going to preaching or something.
Kanishta is more interested in preaching. There are different levels of Kanishta. Kanishta also, see, if you read Nectar of Instruction, that verse, there you can see there are 3 levels of Kanishtas, there are 3 levels of Madhyamas and 3 levels of Uttamas. Okay. So within Kanishta also there is Kanishta, there is Madhyama, there is Uttama. Then within Madhyama also there is Kanishta, there is Madhyama, there is Uttama. And there is, within Uttama also there is Kanishta, there is Madhyama, there is Uttama. Different levels of Kanishta Adhikaris are there.
Where do you find those 9?
Is there the same purport, Prabhupada's purport itself it is there. In Nectar of Instruction purport it is there. If you see all the definitions of Kanishta Adhikari, if you assemble all the definitions of Kanishta Adhikari,
It's not specifically mentioned.
it's not specifically mentioned.
Yes.
But if you assemble all the definitions of Kanishta Adhikari, if you assemble all the definitions of Madhyama Adhikari, and if you assemble all the definitions of Uttama Adhikari, you will actually see one is better than the other. We just need to do some analysis of it. Then you will see what is better than the other.
There is also Jiva Goswami did that.
Yeah, I mean, Acharyas have done that.
So just, sorry about that. Just when the Kanishta is like unable to follow his regulation and his practice outside of the temple, which level is it of Kanishta?
No, that is pre-Kanishta.
Kanishta.
No, there is pre-Kanishta.
Pre-Kanishta.
Means that there is somebody who is lower than Kanishta Adhikari.
Adhikari.
A Kanishta Adhikari is a Brahmana Bhakta. He is in mode of goodness, and that's why he has faith in the deity. His faith in the deity comes from his mode of goodness. A devotee in mode of passion and devotee in mode of ignorance, he is below Kanishta Adhikari level. Okay. A devotee who is in mode of goodness is Kanishta Adhikari.
There is devotees who are down with this. Yeah.
That means they are also like this only. We are going to Kanishta, we are falling down from Kanishta, then we are going to Kanishta, we are falling down from Kanishta. If we are in mode of passion and mode of ignorance, we should not be under impression that we are Kanishta Adhikari.
What we are? Karma.
We are Prabhupada calls people in mode of passion and mode of ignorance as casual devotees. Our devotional service is casual.
You can become 100% like Vasudev state, pure goodness only when liberated.
We are not talking about pure goodness, we are talking about goodness.
But always you are mixed with passion, ignorance is there.
No, Madhyamadhikari is transcendental.
Madhyadika transcendental. After that also he has to reach Uttamadika.
Transcendental is just the beginning of devotional service.
Oh, Siddha Sattva is not Prema.
Suddha Sattva is just the beginning of devotional service. Prema is somewhere there.
Oh.
There is some trace of prema because faith is a manifestation.
Yeah, it's okay.
There is a transcendence is there.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise there would
Yes,
be
yes,
no
yes.
progress.
Yes, that's all okay.
We see generally the Madhyam as Nishtha, is fixed.
Yeah.
So by opposition we say Kanishta is not fixed.
No. See, what is the difference between Kanishta and Madhyama? Madhyama appreciates devotee association, Kanishta does not appreciate devotee association. That's it. That's the only difference between them. That's the only difference between
But there is a taste also, no?
them. Of course, devotee association means taste. Taste and devotee association are very closely connected with each other. When you have the taste, you want to associate with people who have the similar taste.
But that comes to that opposition where we have more taste and in the same time more responsibilities, less time to associate with the devotees. What do you reconcile both?
No. Association, see, there is time and then there is quality.
Yes.
Okay. You can have association for long time, but it is less quality. You can have association for short time, but it is high quality. I was 4 or 5 days back. I was chanting and I was walking in the morning, and then I crossed one devotee. I met him for 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes. I met him for less than 1 minute. I just crossed him. When I was crossing him, he stopped me. And then he told me one verse from, translation of one verse from 10th canto Bhagavatam, from the pastime of Sudama Vipra. He said that the Supreme Lord considers the benedictions he bestows upon his devotees as insignificant. And he considers the insignificant service which is done by his devotees as very great. This is nature of Krishna. Okay. It just happened, he saw me, I saw him, I was crossing him, he just waved his hand and he told me this. I was left thinking about it for the whole day because he gave me quality association. It's just like how much time it takes to, and he spoke very spontaneously. I am still framing my sentence. He spoke very spontaneously. How much time it takes for him to speak this sentence to me? But he spoke something which I was left with for whole day. This is association. Because he had that quality to give that association, that he utilized that short time to give that type of association. He saw me, I saw him, we crowd done, hi, how are you? How is your wife? How is your child? What did you eat for prasadam yesterday? What are you going to eat for prasadam today? What will we eat for prasadam tomorrow? Still we are talking about prasadam. Very Krishna conscious.
That's it.
You see, quality is one thing, time is another thing. So when we nurture quality association, then it is always possible to get it.
So Madhyam is distinguished by its quality association.
Yes.
Uttama?
Uttama is full of quality. By seeing him, people become inspired. Darshane pavitra kuri.
in since you say by seeing only will start chanting, unable to stop.
So there is this Mahaprabhu was asked by one Brahmana in Kulyagram that the Brahmana used to come every year and ask the same question to Mahaprabhu. So first year he asked him, who is a Vaishnava? What is the answer Mahaprabhu gave?
Whoever chants Hare Krishna.
Anyone who chants Hare Krishna is a
Uh,
Vaishnava. This consider all pre-Kanishta, Kanishta, everybody. Okay. Then second year he asked the same question. What is the answer Mahaprabhu gave?
Chanting.
Anyone who endeavors to chant fixed amount of rounds by following rules and regulation, he is
Vaishnava.
Vaishnava. So now he is talking about
Vaishnava.
Madhyamadhikari already.
Oh.
Because he is endeavoring to chant, he is following 16 rounds, endeavoring to chant, he is doing his things properly. He is already talking about Madhyamadhikari.
That is Madhyama.
Yeah. Then the third year he came and asked him, that who is a Vaishnava? What is the answer he gave? Anyone by seeing him, everybody else chants Hare Krishna, he is a Vaishnava. His very presence inspires everyone to chant Hare Krishna. This person is a Vaishnava. This is Uttamadhikari.
But then you are saying Madhyamadhikari position is transcendental.
Yeah, Madhyamadhikari is
But he
transcendental.
just-
I am not saying, Rupa Goswami is saying.
He is just endeavoring to only chant. 16.
Yeah, but his endeavor is very steady. He will follow full regulation. His endeavor is very steady.
It's fully Krishna conscious.
What is the difference between Kanishta and Madhyama? I already told. What is the difference between Madhyama and Uttama?
The difference between Madhyama and Uttama.
Hmm.
The Uttama has, is fully pure in heart, isn't it?
Madhyama is fully
They
pure.
don't blaspheme others.
Madhyama also doesn't blaspheme others.
Fully unalloyed Krishna consciousness.
Both of them are like that.
His spontaneous devotional service is totally developed, and there is also potencies well developed as well.
Yeah, the difference is potency. That Uttamadhikari is expert in Yukta Vairagya. Madhyamadhikari does not know Yukta Vairagya, or he is limited in his utilization of Yukta Vairagya. That is the only difference between. Means a Uttamadhikari can utilize everybody and everything in Krishna consciousness. A Madhyama cannot do that. Madhyama still has to make a distinction that this person I can utilize in Krishna consciousness, this person I cannot utilize in Krishna consciousness. This thing I can utilize in Krishna consciousness, this thing I cannot utilize in Krishna consciousness. He still has to make the distinction. Uttamadhikari is not like that. Because of his potency, he possesses Yukta Vairagya.
So the Uttam is not distinguishing anything because he can engage everything. That's. But usually we say the Uttam has to descend to Madhyama platform.
Yeah, when he comes down to Madhyama platform, he starts distinguishing so that he can start making idea that how can utilize everything in Krishna consciousness. What is the difference between a Uttama who comes down to Madhyama platform and a Madhyama himself? A Madhyama, he will not preach to demoniac people.
Yeah.
Because he will think that, okay, I cannot handle these guys. This is Uttamadhikari's quota. And then he will just go. He will just keep away from them. A Uttama who comes to Madhyama platform, he will recognize that they are demoniac people, but he will preach them and he will make them Krishna conscious. Huh?
Like Prabhupada.
Like Prabhupada. Okay, please read.
Here in this verse it is particularly mentioned from Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita. This indicates the efficiency achieved through execution of mature devotional service or prema, love of Godhead. This state of prema is achieved by the gradual process of development from faith to love.
Yeah, so this is all we are talking about, all this discussion, Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama, everything is attached to this. Okay, please continue.
Okay, the Shruti Shita path is to hear from bona fide devotees who are conversant with the Vedic wisdom, free from mundane sentiment. By this bona fide hearing process, the neophyte devotee becomes cleansed of all material rubbish, and thus he becomes attached to one of the many transcendental forms of the Lord, as described in the Vedas. This attachment of the devotee is to a particular form of the Lord, to a particular form of the Lord is due to natural inclination. This particular attachment is evoked by practice of regulative devotional service to the Lord, and thus the devotee becomes attached to the eternal form of the Lord, exactly like one who is already eternally attached. This attachment for a particular form of the Lord is called Swarup Siddhi. The Lord sits on the lotus heart of the devotee in the eternal form the pure devotee desires, and thus the Lord does not part from the devotee as confirmed in the previous verse. The conclusion is that the Lord cannot become the order supplier of a pseudo devotee, but he is always prepared to respond to the desire of a pure, unconditioned devotee who is free from all tinge of material infection.
Okay, so it's clear that we discussed this also previously, that what is Swarupa Siddhi, natural attachment, and when it comes, when it doesn't come, we discussed this point. Okay, so
12.
hmm?
This is text 12, right?
12, yeah,
11.
12.
And,
Please read.
The Lord is so kind that He awards them all sorts of material happiness more than they can desire. But He is not satisfied with them because they are not pure devotees.
Yeah, so when sometimes devotees think that, okay, let's read this also. This is related to the demigod discussion which we had.
The demigods are called Sakama devotees or devotees with material desires in mind, while the pure devotees are called Nishkama devotees because they have no desires for their personal interest. The Sakama devotees are self-interested because they do not think of others and therefore they are not able to satisfy the Lord perfectly. Whereas the pure devotees take the missionary responsibility of turning non-devotees into devotees, and they are therefore able to satisfy the Lord more than demigods. The Lord is unmindful of the non-devotees, although He is sitting within everyone's heart as well-wisher and super soul. However, He also gives them the chance to receive His mercy through His pure devotees who are engaged in missionary activities. Sometimes the Lord descends Himself for missionary activities as He did in the form of Lord Chaitanya, but mostly He sends His bona fide representatives, and thus He shows His causeless mercy towards the non-devotees. The Lord is so satisfied with His pure devotees that He wants to give them the credit for missionary success, although He could do the work personally. This is the sign of satisfaction. This is the sign of His satisfaction with His pure Niskama devotees compared to the Sakama devotees.
So the demigods are Sakama devotees, so they are not karmis, so they are Sakama devotees. So the point which I wanted to make is that Prabhupada makes a very significant point here. So many times, sometimes we may misunderstand when Krishna is fulfilling our desire for sense gratification, we may misunderstand that Krishna's mercy. We should actually understand that Krishna does that because we are devotees and then we are doing devotional service, but he is actually not happy when we ask Krishna to fulfill our material desires. He is not very happy. Prabhupada explains this. And when Krishna fulfill our material desires, we should not consider it a sign of advancement in Krishna consciousness. We should consider it as Krishna's kind of okay, take it kind of thing. So when Krishna gives his mercy, that means he actually doesn't fulfill the desires which are not Krishna conscious. He doesn't fulfill those desires which are not Krishna. Then we can understand that Krishna is giving his mercy. We may have desires which are not Krishna conscious, and when Krishna doesn't fulfill them, then we may understand that it's mercy. But for Sakama devotees, because they also have desires which is independent of Krishna consciousness, Krishna fulfills those desires, and they are all happy also. They think, okay, Krishna is doing a nice job with me, I am doing a nice job with Krishna. So that's the difference between Sakama and Nishkama.
It is said Krishna actually helps you in a position you do more devotion, right? Even for material desire when one goes to Krishna.
Yeah, but Krishna fulfills the material desire in such a way that a person becomes